Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the next character on the series of newcomer ideas for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The new upcoming Smash Bros. Game on Nintendo Switch releasing December 7th this year, and I'm on character number 52 out of how many I'm going to do, I have no idea. I just recently came back after like a small 2-week hiatus, coming back from doing 50 characters after E3. I came back and I just did Simon Belmont a couple days ago, and I mentioned the next character in this series was going to be the Monster Hunter from, Monster Hunter, Capcom's franchise. So, without further ado, let's get this video started and talk about why the Monster Hunter would deserve to be in Smash Brothers. And like always, 3 different categories. Why does the character make sense to be in Smash Brothers? Moveset ideas, and percentage chance I could see them actually getting, in the game. Now, why does Monster Hunter deserve representation in Smash Bros? Well, first and foremost, not including anything on Nintendo as of the last X amount of years, Monster Hunter is one of Capcom's biggest, most selling franchises next to the likes of Street Fighter and Resident Evil. And in terms of ones that have close connections to Nintendo, it's one of the top ones alongside Mega Man and Street Fighter. We have Mega Man, the reason I wore this shirt today, representing Capcom. But yeah, we have Mega Man because his close ties to Nintendo, being an 80s icon in gaming on the NES and then, on the Super Nintendo with X and whatnot, and the various Mega Man Volnut, Mega Man EXE, all the different Mega Mans that have come, since the inception of the Mega Man franchise back in the 80s. Mega Man has a huge, close connection to Nintendo and finally was included in Smash Bros. With the 4th game, back, on the Wii U and 3DS. And then we also got DLC with Ryu because, back in the day with Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo and various Nintendo systems since then have had, Street Fighter games, and Ryu does have close connections with Project Cross Zone and other crossovers and spin-offs and collections and whatnot on Nintendo. So Street Fighter and Mega Man both have close ties to Nintendo. Another, Capcom franchise that has close ties to Nintendo? Monster Hunter. And ever since, it made the jump to Nintendo back with Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii back in 2010, which is now 8 years ago. We've had countless games from the Monster Hunter franchise on Nintendo. It's as, prevalent and relevant and used on the Nintendo brand as it was on the PlayStation brand before then and even after then. It's one of Capcom's most utilized franchises on Nintendo, and it's one of their most popular franchises. So in and of itself, one of Capcom's most popular franchises, one of their most popular, most utilized franchises on Nintendo, has history with Nintendo, dating back now 8 years, or almost 10 years of Monster Hunter on Nintendo, which is really saying something. It speaks volumes. It is a relevant Capcom franchise on Nintendo, and they did do an armor for it, right? I recall there was a Mii armor that was DLC, Mii Fighter armor in Smash Brothers, 4, Wii U and 3DS. So, there's at least some sort of use of it in the Smash Bros. Franchise, and there's a relevant, a history of it on Nintendo. On top of the fact, not just the history of it with Nintendo, one of the most Capcom's most popular franchises, there's also a rumor that not only is, the one game, Generation X or whatever being, ported, localized to the Switch, with America on the Switch, there also is a rumor that there's going to be making a new Monster Hunter game on the Switch. So what better way to do that than to advertise that game and also, show off the history of it with Nintendo than to include a character in Smash Brothers. So there you go. History with Nintendo, one of Capcom's most popular franchises. There's a new game coming out that they're localizing. It's an older collection game, but there's also a rumor of a new one. In the armor, costume set in Smash Brothers 4, it's kind of relevant enough to be included, and it is legendary enough because the franchise itself has been out since 2003. So it's quickly becoming one of Capcom's most legendary franchises. So I would have to say Monster Hunter deserves to be represented with a character because of that. Now, secondary moveset ideas. There's so many different weapon types. There's so many different types of fighters. So many different types of things you can really do, fighting styles, weapon styles you can really go for if you've actually played Monster Hunter, and I have at least 1 or 2 games, to actually to base a character off of. And before I would have saw the Inklings in Smash Bros. 4, I would have probably picked a specific weapon or 2 or 3 and had interchangeable weapons, like you switch weapons in and out. But the Inkling for Splatoon representation now in Smash Bros. Ultimate utilizes all the different Inkling like weaponry, all the ink brush and the splat roller and all this different stuff. So it's multiple weapons in one moveset. So that's what I'm going to be doing to represent the Monster Hunter. The different weapons will be different smash attacks, different special attacks. So in terms of smash attacks, I'm going to be basically using the likes of the Switch Axe, the Lance, the Great Sword, the Long Sword, maybe the Dual Blades, and the Hammer. Like different things, like regular A would be like the Long Sword, side A would be like the Great Sword, up A would be like the Hammer, Dual Blades would be like down or something, like various different combinations. I'm not saying to utilize all those weaponry because then it might be a little overused and you might have too many weapons to represent, but pick a good 3 to 4. And if I had to pick 3 to 4, I'd say the Great Sword, the Lance, the Dual Blades, and the Switch Axe. Those would be the 4 I basically represent in the Smash attack. So the Switch Axe, the Lance, the Great Sword or Long Sword, it could be either or, and the Dual Blades. So the Dual Blades would be like the quick swiping attacks. It won't do too much damage, but it'll be allowing you to be a quicker fighter and do more combo-based stuff. The Long Sword or the Great Sword will be able to reach a longer distance and be able to do more damage, but you're slower with that. The Hammer would do a decent chunk of damage, but you're not as slow as the Long Sword, Great Sword, and the Switch Axe will be kind of combo heavy hitter weapon, but not as quick as the Dual Blades, but not as slow as like the Switch, as the swords or the Lance or Hammer or whatever. So there you go. And I'd make that the smash attack. So various different weapons, depending on if you're doing standard A, left, right A, down A, up A, if you're attacking in the air in any direction, stuff like that. So it depends on the situation, and you throw a couple of different weaponry, like melee-based weapons, into the smash attacks. The special attacks is where I'm going to start doing like the ranged weapons. And I'm going to basically do like the light and medium bowgun. If you want to just do one or the other, that's fine. I'd say medium would be decent. Maybe the light one because we have a quicker range, like moving around be faster. I have no clue like which one you'd want, but pick one of the bowguns. There's a light one, a heavy one, and a medium one. Pick one. Maybe if you charge it, maybe it switches it up. If you just tap it, it's the light gun. If you medium charge it, it's the medium gun. If you fully charge it, it's the heavy bowgun. So there's that. And you also could use a bow and arrow type thing, so I'd give the Monster Hunter a bow and arrow in their special attacks. And I would use like the different little gadgets, the traps, the different little items you can use to capture the monsters in Monster Hunter as also special attacks. Like there will be like various types of bombs. So I'd give them some sort of bomb, like the barrel bomb, and I'd also basically do the pitfall trap. So you throw the pitfall trap on the floor, onto the ground, and if an opponent walks over it, they get trapped and get stuck for like a couple of seconds. So you can just go in there and just wallop on them and beat them up, which is what you do in the Monster Hunter game. You capture you make sure you can slow them down because some monsters take certain strategies to beat in Monster Hunter. So you have to sometimes slow them down and stop them from moving in order to get any type of damage on them. So that's what I would do for the special attacks. I do ranged weapons like the bowgun and the bow, and then do little gadgets like the pitfall trap and like various types of bombs like the barrel bomb, which was used in Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, I think. So it's like just throwing a big giant barrel keg and it blows up. But there's also like smaller bombs too. So I'd say small bombs, the barrel bomb, bow gun, which I probably would say light or medium more than likely, or charge it like light, medium, heavy. And then the pitfall trap would be the special attacks. And in terms of Final Smash, I was like, I'm representing all these different weaponry in Smash, in Smash Bros. All the different weaponry from Monster Hunter. But you know what I'm not representing yet? The actual monsters you fight. And I wanted to include one of them at least in the Final Smash, and it's kind of an iconic monster to the series and really popular, one of the major ones since the inception of the series. I'm picking the Rathalos, and what it's going to be like Rathalos attack, Rathalos attack, and it's basically it's going to be a catch Final Smash, kind of like how, Mega Man and Shulk, and what I mentioned even with Simon Belmont last time, you have to do some sort of, you have to catch the people in their Final Smash. When you do it, the Monster Hunter just lunges forward with some sort of sword slice or lance attack. Cutscene ensues. You see a Rathalos in the distance. Somehow, the Monster Hunter, throws something at it or shoots some sort of bowgun to catch its attention. It angers it, pisses it off, it starts running forward. And then anyone you catch in the finisher is like, no! Starting to run away. It's a cutscene of all your and the expressions. Remember in the E3 they mentioned that the characters have expressions. This would be the perfect moment to have all the characters like having like the weirdest like facial expressions, trying to run the hell away from the Rathalos. And then you see the Monster Hunter setting up this certain trap, like certain like thing, like super fast, like some sort of pitfall bomb type trap. And then as the human characters, your opponents run into the trap, and the Rathalos runs into the trap, boom, send flying off the stage. And the Rathalos will go flying off the stage too, so maybe we'll see an animation of Rathalos smashing the screen or going whee in the background. I don't know. That's the only way I think like doing it, because like it shows how you trap monsters. It represents a monster in the Final Smash, and it would be humorous to see all the characters have the most random running animations trying to get the hell away from the Rathalos and looking like idiots, like no! And it'd be a good use of the expressions, and it'd be a fun way to represent a Final Smash for the character, and throw a monster in there too. So that's how I'd give him a moveset. The smash attacks would basically be like the melee-based weapons that the Monster Hunter can use. The great swords or long swords or the dual axe, the switch axe, I mean, and the lances and the hammers and stuff like that. Pick a couple of them. The dual blades, pick like 3 to 5 of them. And then the special attacks would basically be the range weapons, the bow gun, the bow, and then using little gadgets like the barrel bombs, smaller bombs, and pitfall traps. And the final smash is a Rathalos attack, which you trigger the Rathalos to stampede against the players, and you catch them all in some sort of pitfall bomb trap that blows them all off the stage. That'd be funny, and that'd be hilarious. So, onto the third category, percentage chance I could actually see the Monster Hunter getting in the game. I could see it happening. I see potential there because of its history with Nintendo, and it's still going to get games on Nintendo in the future, Monster Hunter World or not. Like, there's going to be new Monster Hunter games coming to the Switch and future Nintendo systems. And its history with Nintendo, how popular the Nintendo franchise it is, getting an armor set for the Mii's in Smash Bros. 4, Wii U, and 3DS. I could see it happening, but it's not one of the biggest third parties I could see happening. Like, it's not like, I wouldn't put it on Rayman level. I wouldn't put it on what I gave Bomberman. I wouldn't put it on Simon Belmont's level. I'm going to throw the Monster Hunter into the same range as like Shantae, Shovel Knight, Travis Touchdown, characters like I haven't talked about, yet, like Phoenix Wright, a character like Professor Layton, like characters that are there, but not the top level third parties. Like the top level third parties are like Crash Bandicoot, originally Bomberman before they made him an assist trophy, Rayman, characters like that. This is the level below, and Simon Belmont and whatnot. This is the level below the Monster Hunter, Shantae, Shovel Knight, Professor Layton, someone like a Phoenix Wright or a Travis Touchdown. I'm going to give them a 75 to 80% chance. I'm going to just bump it up. I'm going to leave it at 80% chance because of its history with them, but it's not one of the top third parties they would go for, I don't think. Sakurai would go for like a Simon Belmont, a Rayman, a Crash Bandicoot, Travis Touchdown, and whatnot before them, if not for their popularity status and how iconic they are, or for their friendships, like he's a friend of Suda, and maybe we'd get Travis Touchdown and it's returning with Travis Strikes Back. We'd pick one of those, either a friendship pick or a super legendary popular pick. Monster Hunter is possible, but it's not the most possible one. And I see it happening, or at least a chance of happening, but it's no guarantee. And I put it in the same mid-tier third parties that have a possible chance, but not the highest likely chance, like a Shovel Knight or a Shantae or Phoenix Wright or Professor Layton or Travis Touchdown or someone like that. It's just how it goes again. Or a Tails character, even like Lloyd Irving or something. Some of which of these characters I haven't talked about yet. They probably are on the list somewhere. But that's it. The Monster Hunter, I'm giving an 80% chance. Not the highest, but not the lowest. Still possible, but depends on if we want to get a third Capcom character with Ryu or Mega Man or not. It all depends on Sakurai, I guess. So there you go. Monster Hunter for Smash Brothers, 80% chance. And that's it for character number 52 on this list. Hope you guys liked it. Put in the comments what you think. Do you guys like my moveset ideas? What weaponry do you want them to, or bombs, or gadgets, or traps do you want the Monster Hunter to use? My moveset good, your moveset good. What about Final Smash? Reasons they should make it in. My reason's good. Do you have other reasons? It's 80% too high, too low. Decide down there and have fun. And stay tuned for character number 53 next time I record a video of this, when I'm going to be talking about Neku Sakuraba. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. From The World Ends With You. See you all